Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good night, all. I am James from Team Procyon. Go Raccoons! Yeah, so goodness, it was that long ago now. So when I was first starting university, I got myself a Crunchyroll subscription, and I saw this recommendation for the show called Vanguard, and that's how I discovered the card game as a whole. Was never really able to get into Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or any of those other major card games when I was a child. So it's like, hey, look, a new game. Maybe I can get in. Maybe I can be good while everyone's still learning it. Let's see. Well, currently my favorite nation will always be Lyrical. They're on the flying whale for Pete's sakes. Anime school on the flying whale. Flipping love it. As for favorite clan as a whole, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. I always have a heart for Bermuda Triangle. Just mermaids, all the stuff. One of the few card games that I know of that you can actually play with actually cute looking cards, which is something I really appreciate, and one of the reasons that I stay with Vanguard actually. If I am not allowed to choose Bermuda Triangle, I would definitely choose Oracle Think Tank. I really loved the very Japanese theme of it. Yeah. Oof. So right now in standards, my current go-to is Ava. Just very consistent, very powerful. So much shield as a whole. So honestly, is my go-to deck whenever I'm trying to play to win. Alongside that, I'm really excited for the the Clarissa deck that's coming out, the Gems deck that's about to come out with the Festival Booster for 2023. Really excited for all the power gains there, as well as just Prison. Really like playing around, manipulating the board, forcing my opponent to make choices, really play with their psychology as a whole. As for V, honestly, really a fan of Anj as a whole. Really just manipulating the field, right? Forcing cards off of the field, right? Having options and really having big numbers. And for premium, honestly, I don't really play. Yeah, as a whole, I'm busy with life, so just trying my best to keep up with the few decks that I have right now. Actually, I'm going to go with an interesting one. My favorite Vanguard-related memory was actually this past March when I went back to Japan after all the happenings in the world. And for some reason, I had it to be a hilarious idea to play Vanguard in Japan with English cards. So I ended up finding a shop in the city that I was in at that point, Sendai, and just showed up. Used every single translation app I possibly could to figure out how to sign up. Learned that there was this thing called Bushi Navi in Japan, which now exists in the United States. So PSA to people. Download the Bushi Navi app on your device so that you can sign up for official events for Bushi Road. And then after just chatting with the staff and the players there, they let me play with English cards, and it was so much fun. Got to learn a lot of interesting different aspects of the meta, and brought it back. And honestly, it was really excited to see how just the play style they have there just slaps. Yeah, so my very first deck was at the very beginning of Vanguard as a whole, or what I would consider my very first deck would be the Prism deck from Bermuda Triangle. And this is before we had Grade 4s, this was before everything, so this was just 0 through 3 and that was it. Yeah, so my base cards at that point would have been Vert and Labrador, and it's just big numbers for days. Sadly, I don't have one. Despite me looking very visibly Asian, and I do have Japanese heritage, I don't really watch card game animes. If I can, play with a Lyrical deck, if I can. Otherwise, just do my best to track the meta and see how well I am. I do see the game for what I believe it is right now with game design. So I do know that at least for standard right now, it's still a little bit trigger sensitive as a whole. So based off of how you're triggering, it does affect your luck as a whole. Skill expression is not exactly optimal there. On V side, since there is of course a standard day and a V day, looking to get into Anj because it's looking to be playing really well, and want to win a ticket to go to Japan if I can. I mean, biggest one is getting onto Team Procyon, honestly. First time I've ever tried out playing for a professional team as a whole, so it's just been a very interesting experience as a whole. More players and more experimentation as a whole. So honestly, like every single card game is really the people that makes the game fun, right? Interacting with all the different types of people, with all of our different lives, right? And we get to chat up and do things outside of just playing a card game with each other, right? So most recently, I made a prop for a video game that I frequent and stuff like that, and being able to share the experience and do 3D printings with some of the other members here has been tons of fun. As well as, and on the other side for experimentation, right? Honestly, the game can only get better with more experimentation. One of the things I really learned from playing all over the world Vanguard is that the meta is different everywhere you go, and every single one of them brings something interesting and different to the game. So definitely, the more experimentation, the more better. Well, if there's some doobly-doo here down at the bottom, just pick up some awesome wear from Procyon Gaming as a whole. They have a very awesome set of market die that every time that I go to a regional, everyone says that they love as a whole. So pick those up; they really are worth it. I believe that they're also going to be an update to it pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that as well. On the other side, yeah, just if you can't get into Vanguard, find a local shop near you. The Bushi Navi app is up now, so definitely use that to help you find a shop, and hopefully I'll see you at the table sometime soon.